Hello again, Stefan here from Yap Tuning in Sweden. Today we will continue to check out the projects that we're doing here, the 300ZX and the engine build and the refurbishing of that. So yeah, let's go have a look, see what has happened here. So the 300 is still sitting where it previously was with no engine. But there is definitely things happening. Okay. So, some progress. You can see that the cylinder heads, they are now on. There is one cam installed, and we actually had some information that we have to share, I think, because the camshafts are not the same in the auto that they are in the manual ones. So the ones that came with manual transmission, they actually have more lift in the cams, which means that when the cam is in here and is rotating with the motor, the cams will press down the lifters, and the lifters will push down the valves, which will obviously open for air and fuel, and the exhaust cam will open for the exhausts. So if you have more lift, you will get more power basically. And there is some info on the internet that you can gain up to 20 horsepower with the manual camshafts compared to the auto cams. So the ones that was originally with this motor was automatic cams, and I happen to have a set of manual cams laying around, so we have taken them and we will install those cams instead. Of course there are options of getting much more aggressive cams in terms of aftermarket cams. There's a lot of alternatives there, but in this build we're not gonna go that like super high on power, and I think that this will definitely do with the stock cams. We will start there with those HKS turbos and the stock cams. I mean, if we get 500 horsepower, I'm pretty happy with that, but with quite a lot of low-end torque because of the 3.2 liter, I think it will be a really nice engine. I'm not aiming for like 800 or something. We're aiming for an engine that will make good power and have a good range basically. So nice drivability, that's what we're after here. Yep, but this is what it looks like with the heads on. And so next up is now the cams will go in, the gears, and the VG was one of the first ones to come with the Nissan variable intake cams. So if you're into Group A cars and race cars, you can see that one of them, orange one, Group A car, R32 GTR, was actually a Unesia sponsored one. Unesia, that's the guys behind this construction, where with the help of oil pressure, you will get this one to twist a little bit. It is being controlled by those valves here that will control the oil to flow through the cam and into this gear, and that will then rotate this one to have adjustable intake timing on the intake camshaft. So really like in front of its time when this came in 1990. Really nice things. Then a lot of other manufacturers has followed, like BMW. They have the Vanos, it's called, and many others. I'm not really sure if Nissan was the first or Unesia was the first ones, but yeah. Anyway, this exactly the same style is on the RB25, the Skyline R33 GTS. The RB26s does not have it. They have solid ones, but the RB26 is also a high rev engine. So yeah, HKS actually made a aftermarket V cam for the RB26. Really cool. Anyway, I'm gonna show you some more nice things. In the last video, I did show you a brief look on the HKS turbos. These are some GT2560s, they're called. And they are, it's a good like 600 horsepower setup. We're gonna, I have not been using this myself. It came off an engine that I bought, used, broken. Someone has been welding here, maybe, doesn't look that properly. The elbows, they're really nice. They're definitely the HKS ones that came with this turbo kit, that's for sure. And what else? Here I have a really vintage style HKS front mount intercooler kit with those orange silicone couplers. That is vintage. That is really, really cool. This HKS one is really rare. It is not made, obviously, anymore. But it's so vintage that it's just really cool. So that intercooler with the turbo setup, that was really what HKS came up with many years ago as tuning products for the 300ZX. And it will be really nice to use those forced induction aftermarket parts on the 300. That will be so nice. So, exhaust manifold for the VG30, they look like this. As you can see here, this piece of pipe has been cut off and welded to close it up, and that's because there is something called EGR that maybe most of you guys know. Exhaust gas return, I think the exact description is. But on most tuned cars, you don't want to have that system anymore because it's kind of in the way, and the other downside with it is that you will actually suck in exhausts into the intake manifold again to reburn them one more time to get the emissions better. So on many tuned cars, like, people kind of delete that. That's what's being done on this one. But as you can see here, there is a lot of black gases that has been going out here. So even though this was mounted with new gaskets, it has not been sealing properly. And what's the root cause of that? I mean, new gaskets, it's been bolted up, but apparently not okay. So I have this very beautiful scale from Extreme Clutch that I can just put on here to get a straight surface. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a lot of air on this one here. So there is actually like two millimeters or something. This is not straight, and that's the root cause for this leaking. So the gasket is not thick enough to take up that gap, and that is the problem. So what can we do? Well, we can throw this one away and try to get hold of another used exhaust manifold. We can buy some aftermarket exhaust manifolds, or we can try to fix this, because I think it's fixable with the help of this guy here. So I will try to grind this down here and still have it as a flat surface kind of, and hopefully I can get it flat again. Yeah, so let's give that a try.
Yep, taking off 2 millimeters or more might take some time, but I can already see
now we are definitely getting there. it will probably
seal quite soon. So I will continue and take off some more. I think we will be able to use this one again.